This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by the folks over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Take advantage of how easy Ease makes legal California cannabis delivery by popping open ease.com to browse their extensive wares, all of which can be delivered right to your door in less than an hour, assuming you live where Ease is active and that it's during legal delivery hours. Ease only partners up with the top dispensaries in their active areas, so you know you're only getting the best legal cannabis products at great prices. And because Ease is super strict about following all relevant state cannabis law, everything found at ease.com is properly tested, labeled, and packaged. Don't waste a minute of your time driving to get your legal cannabis this summer when Ease can bring it right to you. Get your own order started by opening up ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E. Big thanks to everyone over at Ease for the support that makes this show possible. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Tuesday, June 26th, 2018, and you're tuned in to episode 519 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Leading off today's top stories is the news that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved the marijuana-derived CBD medicine Epidiolex as an officially sanctioned prescription drug. We've been tracking this storyline for a while now as UK-based company GW Pharmaceuticals has pushed through the long application process for FDA approval. Epidiolex is unique in that it's actually created from whole cannabis, with the CBD portion of the plant refined away from the other parts. Once fully approved, doctors will be free to prescribe Epidiolex to treat any condition, although it was carried through FDA approval on its clinically proven ability to reduce seizures in people living with epilepsy. Right now, the one last remaining roadblock to patients being able to actually get Epidiolex is the fact that the Drug Enforcement Administration needs to move CBD medicines into a different drug schedule that allows for doctor-prescribed use. And regular listeners should know that the DEA does not have a very good track record when it comes to doing the right thing in terms of cannabis policy. Tom Angel over Marijuana Moment has our second top story of the day, with news out of Congress that the Senate has voted in favor of legislation that includes language allowing military veterans to get recommendations from doctors for medical marijuana in states where it's legal. Tom's piece nicely lays out all of the still moving parts of the story, but in short, the U.S. House has also passed legislation with protections for military veterans getting medical marijuana recommendations. The big question now is whether the pro-marijuana protections survive the conference committee that is working to merge the two versions of the bill. While it would seem to make sense that merging two bills with similar language for one particular issue would result in that language remaining largely intact, we have seen pro-marijuana amendments chopped before by conference committee, so we'll have to wait to see how this plays out here. Swing over to Tom's story over at Marijuana Moment for the full read. Our third and final headline today returns to the storyline of cannabis entrepreneur Allison Edel, now known online as Permit Patty, for a video shot on Saturday of her on the phone seemingly calling the police against an 8-year-old little girl selling water in front of where she lives in San Francisco to raise money for a trip to Disneyland. The story has blown up all over the mainstream media because of the racial factor of the filmed incident. Miss Edel is white, while the 8-year-old entrepreneur and her mother, who filmed and shared the video online, are black. This one's struck a particular nerve as it's followed a number of well-publicized incidents of white people calling the police on black people for doing things you should never call the police for, like sitting in a Starbucks, barbecuing next to a lake, or in this case, selling bottled water on your front steps. The latest update to the whole messy affair is that dispensaries all over the legal cannabis industry are dropping products made by Treatwell, Miss Edel's CBD pet products company, like so many hot potatoes, and they're doing it publicly. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz it on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery. Ease.com is now an option for Golden Staters living in Sacramento, so if you find yourself in the capital city today, you can quickly get an order in for delivery that will be made in less than an hour. What's not to love about that? And because June is Pride Month, Ease is donating 5% of their proceeds for the month to worthy nonprofits like Out and Equal, which works to boost workplace equality for the LGBTQ+ community. Learn more about the good work done by Out and Equal by swinging over to their website at outandequal.org with those 3 words all spelled out. And as always, you can pop open ease.com, spelled EAZE, to get your order in for legal California cannabis delivery, as well as to read tons of valuable industry insight and analysis developed by the Ease team using their properly aggregated and anonymized sales data stream. Big thanks to everyone over at Ease for all the support. All right, time for the Blitz. Our buddy Tom Angel over Marijuana Moment grabbed his second story on today's headlines with a good in-depth look at the changing mood of the U.S. Senate Appropriations Committee in terms of how it deals with cannabis legislation. Tom's contention is that the committee has turned against marijuana policy in recent weeks after several years of being seemingly open to its advancement. This is a deep one that you should open up in full. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Industry insiders and experts are urging the new government of the Canadian province of Ontario to reconsider the plans developed by the previous government to maintain a strict monopoly on legal marijuana dispensaries as the nation embraces border-to-border adult use legalization later this year. Right now, Ontario is working off a plan to open up just 40 dispensaries to start, a number pegged by many as being far too low. By way of comparison, the province of Saskatchewan will have 51 licensed adult use dispensaries, even though they have just 1/10 the population of Ontario. Yesterday, officials in Connecticut took a short-sighted view on the use of medical marijuana to treat opioid addiction by denying the addition of opioid use disorder to the list of medical cannabis qualifying conditions. An advisory board made up of physicians cited the lack of research showing the efficacy of using medical marijuana to treat opioid addiction in their decision to deny it as a qualifying condition for patients living in Connecticut. Marijuana.com is a handy list up of various celebrities who have gotten involved in the legal marijuana industry from a products and branding angle. We all know of the marijuana-related entrepreneurialism of Tommy Chong and Willie Nelson, but there's also quality products put out by former NFL player Al Harrington, rapper Wiz Khalifa, and actress, singer, and comedian Whoopi Goldberg. In Massachusetts, the company that was just announced as receiving the state's first adult use marijuana cultivation license is opening up a new cannabis accelerator for entrepreneurs interested in the cannabis edibles game. Sira Naturals will start taking applications for one of 5 spots open starting on July 1st, which will entitle the winners to 3 months of accelerator support in exchange for up to a 10% stake in their business given over to Sira. Companies involved in the accelerator program will have access to Sira's processing and manufacturing facilities and will have the ability to sell their developed products in Sira dispensaries. The accelerator program is slated to start up in the fall. Nevada state cannabis regulators will get an additional $1.5 million in budget to help deal with a backstock in background check applications for industry workers. Regulators say they also need the additional resources to help stay atop inspections at dispensaries. Yesterday, a Nevada State House committee approved the budget bump for the Department of Taxation. And finally for today, the New York Times has an insightful longer form piece up that you just need to read that takes a look at the growing role of cannabis as a political driver in Colorado politics. Specifically, the story examines how marijuana has become the main issue of note for a lot of Colorado voters, transcending traditional boundaries usually defined by political affiliation and other issues. With things as dynamic as they are in our industry, it's important to have a good handle on the changing political winds, so I would skip reading this one in full at your own peril. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Just a quick reminder, we're closing down next week for our summer vacation, and we'll be back up in full operation on Monday, July 9th. Our last show and daily email newsletter will be going out on Friday. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.